Welcome back to episode 43 of WCATChats. I'm Nathan Raju. Alongside me here is Palmer Ruth, and we're joined today by a very special guest, Zade Elshihabi. Zade, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell the viewers a little bit about you.
My name is Zade Elshihabi, class of 2026. I'm a sophomore, and I play for the basketball team.
I can tell you've been working on, getting your recruiting to have your little, Twitter bio down pretty easily.
Yeah, I've worked on that with my dad. Twitter bio is coming along great. If anybody comes to my profile, then they get to see that.
So talk to us about the basketball season's going. The boys have been having a really great year. It's been really fun to watch. Talk to us. What's been your favorite moment so far?
Yeah, it's been great. From when the season started to obviously now, we have a winning record. Team chemistry's been great so far. Just coming along, especially with the new coach, the new change. We didn't know what we were gonna expect. Obviously, teams coming along great together, and let's see what we can do for more. Try to goals to win region, to make it state, and have a home game here for the state tournament. So.
And then you talk about a new coach coming in, Coach Hicks. How has that really shifted the culture of the team and also kind of the winning mentality?
Yeah, it's been a great change. We have this word. It's called Meraki. You might hear us from the huddles. We say it. It's just a word that means togetherness, and we also do lots of team huddles. So just the micro games that we've been winning has been playing a big part in us having a winning record and being third in our region.
Being together as a team, how have you guys bonded off the court to really build your team chemistry?
Bonding off the court. Obviously went to Savannah for a tournament. We had a couple off days there. We bonded together. Just anytime we're off the court, we're always there together. We're always helping each other if anybody needs it. We're just there for each other. So.
And then last Friday, y'all took down Holy Innocents.
Yeah.
The place was packed. It was loud. It was an exciting game. Taking down Caleb Wilson and that whole Golden Bears team. What was that experience like?
It was absolutely electric, especially with the fans and the crowd and the play for K, just everything there, and then defeating obviously the 5-star and the number 1 team in the region was just amazing. And then we just can't be too complacent with winning that, so just got to keep on going. And it was a great win, great night. So.
I know you obviously heard all the chants coming from the student section. If you had a favorite one out of all of them that you kind of picked out, what would you say?
Dude, I love the free throw merchant one. That was amazing. Every time we got to the line, there was nothing we could do. We just had to put our hands up and he'd get to the line. They'd scream, he'd miss, it'd be great. We just get to all the momentum.
I had one of the team parents ask me what free throw merchant was, and I had to explain. It was not that difficult of a concept.
Yeah.
They just couldn't understand it just throughout the game. And then obviously we were talking about it before, but you were asking Nitin what the Spanish homework is, because obviously Westminster's an academically rigorous school, and you play a great sport. How do you kind of balance the two?
It's tough, but again, it just comes with just trying to do it throughout the season. Obviously, I had to do it last year too. So you kind of just start to build just that knowledge, just when to start focus on basketball, when to focus on school, and just to try to keep a balance between that. And obviously, coordinate with your teachers and coaches. Obviously, being a student athlete is hard to maintain.
So kind of rewinding back a little bit to when you were younger, what got you into basketball? When did you start playing? When were your first experiences with the sport?
Yeah, so I started playing overseas actually in Lebanon because I started playing in Lebanon at the age of 4, I believe. Went to this place called Sportsville, first lesson there. It was great, and then I never stopped picking up basketball after that, and it was fun on the little mini hoop. I'd still play. And I keep on going here to the PRUMC and the younger leagues here. Just kept on going to NYO to now. So it's been great.
And then what do you think is kind of in the past year been the biggest adjustment you've made to your game that's you had this great leap to now, starting on varsity a lot, having great games like that tremendous game against Galloway and whatnot?
Yeah, I guess it's just trying to play with poise and not trying to get rushed all the time. Just know when to attack, when to kick it out. Obviously, that's still something I have to work on. But it's just, again, developing to be more agile, just knowing when to play, just developing a better IQ for the game. I think it's been a big step.
And for some people, they like the 3 ball. Some like the layup. If you had to choose, what shot is your go-to, your signature move?
Usually, if I'm open for the 3, I'm going to take it, and I could easily attack left-hand layup on the left side when I use. So either the left-hand layup or the 3, but I'm going to have to say the 3 for sure.
You being a lefty, especially in basketball, you see a lot of left-handed shooters like James Harden, and it's kind of a signature. They're a lefty jumper. How do you like being a lefty, or do you think it kind of brings some new challenges, or do you think it actually helps you or benefits you in a way?
Well, I think both. I think it helps me. It benefits me because people usually they know how to guard right-handed players. They don't really know how to guard both, and it's kind of so I can use my left to my advantages if they don't know how to stop it. And then kind of a disadvantage is just like on the left side. Obviously, if they force me to go right, you're gonna have to use your right much more, and it's vice versa. If you're right, they force you to go left. But just trying to play off of two, using both hands, I think is just very beneficial. So.
And then talk about, you're a sophomore on the team, kind of the group of older upperclassmen, how they've kind of led you and kind of like given you some great teaching moments and kind of just taught you more.
Yeah, no, they have for sure. Obviously, last year and this year especially, they've kind of stepped up to the leadership role. Most of the seniors have, especially Hayes Carroll, he's always there. I mean, great guy, great chemistry guy. Just tries to bring the team up along with all the other seniors. So.
Other than Hayes, who would you have to shout out from the senior side? I mean, there's so many of them, and they all seem like characters. Talk to us maybe about a special moment you've had with one of your seniors.
Sure. So obviously it was on the court. Me and Matt when we're on defense, and then we get a 10-second violation call, for example, or we're just all over just trying to get the ball. Obviously, we're sharing a special moment between that. We're happy for each other. We're glad we're getting steals, layups, breakaway layups. That's a special moment I had with one of the seniors.
Mm-hmm. And then, this honestly may get cut, but after the game Friday, you just got mobbed by Lawton.
Yeah.
Are you friends with him? Like, what was that?
So I was in Janter with him,
Okay.
Lawton, so we were talking about basketball. He's a great guy. I mean, and then when he came on the court, I was so surprised he was there. I was so happy. It was a great moment.
Yeah, because usually you see that at football where everybody kind of storms the field, but you don't really see that in the basketball.
no,
in the
It was like
basketball
just
side.
Lawton and like one other
It was
person.
just Lawton running out onto the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of watching NBA, is there any like player you kind of model your game after, or you try to take pieces and parts from?
I mean, definitely like you were saying before, James Harden. I watch him sometimes. Obviously, lefty with a step back is very popular. I also love the explosiveness and the ability of Russell Westbrook, obviously, when he was in his prime, just the way he gets to the rim and then just his explosiveness in general. So those are probably the two people.
So are you a fan of the Thunder?
No, I'm a fan of the Hawks. But
okay.
the Hawks are not doing so great right now.
All right.
Yeah.
If you were the GM, what move would you make for the Hawks?
One, I would have tried to trade for Siakam if we had the chance, and I think we had the opportunity. And then two, I might have to trade DeJounte Murray. So.
Even after the two game winners in the
Yes.
past week?
Yes.
How do you think, Trey, with how great he is offensively, but how he hurts the defensive backcourt? Is he there for a long-term championship future, or you think we should get rid of him?
I don't think he's there for a long-term championship future. I think, obviously, he's done tremendous things for the Hawks, but I don't think he has a team that he can build around to make them a championship caliber team. But, I mean, he shoots shots 40, 45-footers when we're down two, like 30 seconds left, and we don't need it. And surprisingly, either goes in, everybody loves him, or it misses, and everybody hates him. So it could be one of those days for Trey.
And then one last Hawks question, and we'll go back to talking about yourself. Thoughts on Quinn Snyder being the head coach, how he kind of came in, and him kind of being, I don't want to say Trey's coach, but.
Yeah. So I remember him coming in. I remember them having, I think, a really successful year in the beginning, and then him kind of revolving around Trey. And then I think as the years went on, I think he was fine with Trey shooting more, and like Trey it's kind of Trey's game, and then everybody else is revolving around him when you have two superstars, DeJounte and Trey. So I think that was a mistake, I believe, that he made. And then obviously we're considered, quote, the most mid team in the NBA. So I mean,
It's better than the worst.
Yeah,
It's better.
exactly.
Would you rather be a Pistons fan?
No, wow, I feel bad for them. So.
And now going back to the Westminster side of things, every team tend to have pregame/postgame traditions. Some you can talk about, some you can't. If you had one of those that you want to share, what would that be about how you guys really come together as a family?
Yeah, so a post-game tradition, obviously, whenever we win, we sing a song. I'm not gonna say that song, but we sing a song. It's a great time for the team, and whenever we win, we sing that song. So it's just a great post-game tradition.
And then you, with a sophomore, you kind of know, obviously being on varsity, you know all the older kids. Tell me about some younger kids who've not really gone onto the spotlight. Maybe they're still on JV. Maybe they're, riding the bench on varsity who are really going to make an impact in the future.
Yeah. Okay. So next year, obviously we don't have that much of a big next year. So I think Carson Metter is going to have to step up. He's a great player. Just try to probably get it bigger because we're in a different region, I believe, next year. It's going to be much more challenging, obviously, with the bigs especially. So Carson, very good player. Can't wait to see what he does next year with us. And then obviously a fellow friend of mine, Caleb Patterson, a great guy, very quick, active on defense. I can't wait next year to be with him and see how it is. And then we also have another lengthy guy, Chris Omar, another big. So I can't wait to see how those two perform on varsity.
So you and your fellow sophomore, Nico Searle, have both been on varsity.
Sophomore sensation.
Yeah.
I believe they're known.
Talk to us about how you guys are both on varsity your freshman year and now together sophomore year. How has that kind of bond developed over the past 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Obviously, developing that with Nico since freshman year, both going through together, being varsity as a freshman, and then obviously now both of us performing well as a sophomore. I think it's just not only strengthened, but like just help the team and like ourselves just bond and have a better relationship.
And then earlier this week, you got your first ever dunk. Not
Yes,
in game.
I did. Not in game.
But when can we maybe see that coming to Turner Gym?
I don't know. Hopefully junior year.
Okay.
Aim for junior year, hopefully. Yeah, but when I got my first dunk, that was absolutely electric. I mean, emotions were high. I mean, it was just a great day. So.
Have we seen a dunk from a Westminster Wildcat this year?
No, Brenner had so many opportunities, and the team would get mad at him for not taking them. But
Brenner's jumpy.
Jumpy,
He's jumpy.
yeah, he is. And then, you obviously talk about, working on being recruited, and you have your Twitter. Only 90 followers. We'll discuss that later.
It's all good.
But, how are you kind of going through that whole process of, still only a sophomore, so plenty of time, but, looking forward to the next level and trying to get yourself prepared so you'll be in an opportunity to be able to play at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, that's been my goal, always to play the next level, college ball. Just trying to get my name out as much as I can. So that means, I guess just doing whatever it takes just for people to recognize and see that obviously I go to Westminster, but I can play basketball. Like, obviously Westminster's it wasn't in the past not a very strong basketball school. So I'm looking to change that and obviously just try to get Westminster's name out. We're a good, strong basketball team. So.
Talking about Westminster, let's take a couple steps off the court. And it's been your second year now in the high school. If you had a favorite tradition outside of Turner, what would that be?
Favorite tradition, like
maybe Battle of Buckhead, or
just in general,
or like,
field day, something like that.
Okay. One of the favorite
Messiah. I don't know if you're a big Messiah guy.
Not a big Messiah guy. One of my favorite traditions, let's think. Obviously, Battle of Buckhead is really fun to go to. We have field day sometimes. What else? Oh, the pep rallies. Pep rallies are really fun to go to. I mean, just all those, just the high school. I mean, just all the traditions that we have.
And then this year, we had the first Battle of Buckhead on the hardwood for the first time in 4 years. Go over to Lubbock, go to the riverbank, and take down the Lions. What was that like?
I mean, it was great. I had multiple friends on that team. Obviously, we were saying stuff to each other that they were going to win, we were going to win. Obviously, we came out on their home court, beat them, I believe, by 15. I don't know exactly the score. But it was great. I mean, we had a great student section there at Lubbock, too. It was a Saturday night, so I'm glad they came. And then we just had the energy, and we won. Okay, so we won by 16, 62-46. I mean, it was a great game. So.
Both of them electric games. If you had to pick between Holy Innocents and Lovett, which game would you choose to be better? Because, I mean, the Lovett, you have a little bit more personal beef, but beating Holy Innocents is like beating the Giant.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Holy Innocents. I mean, I've never seen that packed house at Westminster before, at Turner before. I mean, it was just great. Energy was great. Took down number one team. And although Lovett was amazing, I mean, Holy Innocents was just kind of better. It was just a great win.
Hopefully, and I don't know if you have any insider info, but should we be expecting a Westminster Lovett at home next year? Does it kind of work, like a little home and away?
Hopefully we can get more like friendly matchups like this. I'm sure it'll be home away. So
yeah, hopefully next year.
Hopefully next year we can
that would be a crazy environment.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Especially if it's like a Friday night, not a Saturday night too.
Yes.
That'd be
Yeah, it was a Saturday night on a holiday weekend.
Yeah,
I was out of town.
That was still
Yeah.
a really good crowd.
Yeah.
And then, talking about, is there really any big coach that's really made the biggest impact, whether that be at Westminster, back, away from school, helping your basketball game?
Coach?
Yeah.
So obviously, so I have a coach who I've been working with, I think, since 6th grade. He's played overseas at Europe. His name's Coach Efton. You can see him. He comes to almost all the games. I mean, he's a great coach, great trainer, just great person overall. He's developed my game in so many ways. I mean, it's kind of unimaginable, but he's probably one of the best coaches I've been with for a long time. So.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions? Are you that kind of guy who has to have the same sock every game? You got to put left first, then right.
So,
anything you do?
I mean, so one thing that I do every game is that I say a prayer. I say a prayer when the Star Spangled Banner is going off. I say a prayer every time. 2 prayers actually in Arabic every time. I say that injury free, and I just have a great game. So that's a pregame ritual that I do when the Star Spangled Banner is playing. So.
I mean, thank you so much, Zade. But one final question before we let you go. If you could give one piece of advice to a younger you or a younger basketball player, what would that be?
Don't get caught up in the social media. I mean, some of that's fake. I mean, don't believe everything you see on it. Just focus and just try to get better overall. So, yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Zade.
Yeah,
Wish you guys and the basketball team a really good end of the year and hopefully a deep run into the state playoffs.
Thank you.
State Championship 2024.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Zade. It was great to learn a little bit about him and about the basketball team who've been just amazing to watch. I mean, I know Palmer and I have been to a couple of the games, and there's just an awesome atmosphere. I know Palmer's getting his pictures for the WCAT Twitter and talking about that Twitter. Make sure to check that out. Palmer keeps it up to date with some of the great scores from all around campus, and it's a great way to stay connected with all things Westminster. And talking about Westminster, let's get right into Westminster sports. Palmer, take it away.
Yeah, so we just talked a bit about Zade, but amazing basketball versus Holy Innocents. Girls and boys play for K-Night, a tremendous atmosphere event. Guys got the win, 70-63. On the graphic on that WCAT Twitter is the man, the myth, the legend, Zade Elshihabi.
70-63. It was a big win for the Cats, as Zade mentioned.
Win.
He picked that over the Battle of Buckhead, which just kind of shows you how much of a big game that was for the Cats. And the girls did fall down to a really strong Holy Innocents squad, but they will be able to bounce back in the next couple of games as they make a push for a strong playoff as well.
And then also that Friday night was the Metro Meet diving. And 3 divers from Westminster, Ella Anthony, Trevor Dempsey, and one other whose name I'm suddenly blanking on right now, finished in the top 10. Hold up, we'll do some research. But also then the next day was actually the swim part of the Metro Meet, which was tremendous and a great time for the Cats. Boys got second. Girls took the W, and boy, oh boy, there were a lot of state cuts. It was Hallie Harris, who was the third, who's apparently, according to Wildcat Updates, a senior now.
Oh.
So
Nice.
losing some eligibility there, not like current NCAA.
Going back to those people you said got their state cut, a lot of freshmen getting their state cut, so a strong future for the Westminster swim program.
We'll actually cover all those names. Courtney Miller, Charlotte Bowler, Wyatt Roberts, Margaret Justice, and then
Shout out to Katie Christopherson, who broke 2 new meet records in the 200 IM and 100 breaststroke.
But then later that day, she broke both them records again.
Actually?
Yes.
Wow. What she's kind of building herself a little bit of she's taking over the records a little bit, open up the swim records in the next couple of years and just see her name plastered everywhere.
And her
then for
brother.
the guys, her brothers, the Christophersons are going to start owning Westminster swimming.
And then also Eric and Wyatt also got state cuts, as well as Chase Myers, the dog himself, baseball player, swimming fanatic, and he got it. A 59.60, and the cut was exactly 1 minute. So a tremendous job winning his heat in the finals. I mean, just tremendous swimming there by Chase. I know you'll be sad. Won't get him out on the diamond until after, I believe, February 9th. But he's going to help out the swim and dive team.
Well, good luck to the Catfish, as they like to be called, as they make a push into the state swim, and hopefully they can bring back another state championship for Westminster.
Yep. And then also that Saturday, Westminster basketball took on Clarkston. Girls got the win, 78-19.
And boys got the win, 80-55.
That's tremendous. That's what you like to
wins.
see. That is high quality stuff all around. And then, like I mentioned, girls got first, boys got second behind Marist.
And
then,
today, on Wednesday, we have the match day for Westminster Wrestling. So our Mat Cats will be taking on South Gwinnett and Central Gwinnett at South Gwinnett. So if you're not able to catch that up, it should be on NFHS streaming. So make sure to check that out. Maybe not from WCAT, but there should be some streaming platform streaming that if you want to check that out as well.
And then last night, like Zade mentioned, basketball took on Hateville Charter. Unfortunately, the boys unfortunately came out on the wrong side of things. But the girls,
when Palmer's finding that score, remember also tonight's senior night for the Catfish.
It is.
So make sure to come out. There'll probably be some food around there. So if you're a student, go out, check it out.
There will be Chick-fil-A.
Oh, look at that.
And the girls got the win over Hateville Charter girls basketball 58-20. And, this senior night, a lot of schools like to schedule, a patsy, a team that they can easily beat on senior night. Not the Westminster Swim and Dive. They go up against Coach Loughran's former school, Walton, which is
a powerhouse.
So it's not going to be like Westminster's about to run over some team. Heck, it may not even go the right way. But it's going to be a very competitive night, a lot of fast swims, a lot of guys still looking for their state cuts or even their second state cut so that they can be on. It's their last chance, right? Even MK Bowler, a senior, trying to get her fourth state cut of her career here tonight so that she can continue and not be done with swimming after this. So it should be a great night. And then looking forward this week.
Yep, girls basketball and boys basketball will be taking on Marist on the 27th.
That girls basketball game actually got canceled. But before we skip to there, tomorrow, wrestling heads up to Whitfield to take on Walker and Whitfield. Then Friday, a new event started by the new AD, Coach Soares, Night of Champions, which will happen during halftime of the Paideia game for girls basketball. And they're going to honor all 7 state championship teams from last year, as well as all 8 individual state champions. So I'm sure that'll be a great event there. I know I'll be there.
When is that?
That'll be Friday night.
This Friday night.
This Friday.
If you
make sure to be out there.
Then make sure to come out.
And then Saturday morning, boy, if you're into some 7th and 8th grade boys basketball, we have the league championship going on. Should be really exciting.
I know Palmer will be there.
I probably won't. But then guys basketball goes and takes on Marist.
Yep, at 5 o'clock. And the girls' game was scheduled for 3:30, but they will be moving that to later. So if you're in the Marist area, just go check out. The boys basketball game. Those are always fun to watch. And then they'll be back on Tuesday at home on the 30th to face Southwest DeKalb High. And that is actually 1 out of 3 home games that the Cats have left on the schedule. So it'll be the last one for a good bit. They will have 4 more away games. So it's the 30th, and then there's 2 more on the 8th and the 9th. So if you haven't been able to catch a boys basketball home game or a girls basketball home game, make sure to get those out in the next couple weeks.
And then guess what's coming up this Saturday? Some spring sports are having some scrimmages. Boys lacrosse is scrimmaging up against North Gwinnett. Girls lacrosse is home against Pope. And then boys soccer has a little bit of a green and white game going on in the stadium. Although there is going to be a little bit of weather in the area, so we'll see if those games get through. But it's crazy, especially since I know baseball's first real game, as well as boys lacrosse, is in 15 days, February 8th.
That's the first scrimmage for the guys.
Oh, well, for these, it's their first game, I know. Oh. So it's crazy how it's January and we're having spring sports. Really is just fantastic. But, that boys lacrosse program trying to repeat as back-to-back state champions after they took down Lovett up at Denmark High for the state championship last year. So it should be a really exciting one there.
And then girls soccer going for their, 9th straight?
9th straight. Yeah. Hopefully they can keep that going. Hopefully they can get up to 10. That would truly
be crazy. 10 state championships in a row is just a dynasty at that point.
That's more than a dynasty.
It's more than a dynasty. And shifting away from Westminster sports, let's hit the professional sports side. We talked a little bit about the Hawks, so we're going to shift it up and go to the NFL. And the divisional playoffs, the playoffs have been kind of in peak mode right now. We're coming towards the semifinals of NFL. So we had how many games, Palmer? We had 4 games over the weekend. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, Palmer. Drill me those scores.
Yeah, so, pretty much the only blowout of the entire weekend, and it wasn't a blowout until after halftime. Ravens took down the Texans 34-10. Then 49ers did beat the Packers,
Okay, Palmer.
by 3, Good job. The youngest NFL playoff team of all time by the Packers. Plenty of time ahead. I mean, we weren't expected to make the playoffs, right? And some Falcons fans are giving me crap about, the Packers had a disappointing season. Would you rather have had the Packers season or the Falcons season where you're going to have the 8th overall pick, not really going to get anyone special, blow it all again with who knows who's going to be their head coach? But we'll talk about all that head coach stuff next. Then Bucks, Lions, a little bit of controversy at the end. Why didn't Todd Bowles call his final timeout? Maybe they could have drove down and gotten it. They ultimately don't. And then Chiefs, Bills, Tyler Bass misses wide right of some phrases that Bills fans have been hearing since the 90s, and their pain and misery against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift continue.
I like Palmer's little throw in there, Taylor Swift. I mean, going back
That'll get all the girls to watch the podcast when they see that Taylor Swift is mentioned.
Going back to the Ravens-Texans game, 34-10. Going into halftime, it was tied at 10s, I believe. And then the Ravens just pulled away. I mean, the Texans, what a story. C.J. Stroud leading the way there for a team that wasn't expected to do much this year.
DeMarco Ryan, what a head coach.
They pulled off a really great year. Even though they fell to the Ravens, who've had an even better year, that was a great run for the Texans. And then, as Palmer mentioned, the Packers did fall to the 49ers due to but in lieu of a missed field goal by Carlson, as we saw in multiple games this week, even in the Chiefs-Bills game. And a little story that I saw this morning, actually, Tyler Bass had to delete all the social media after receiving some threats, but a little positive note on that. Bills Mafia and Chiefs Kingdom came together, and they ended up donating money to a cat charity that's supported by Tyler Bass. So even though the Bills weren't able to come away with a win, there was still some positive note that happened for Tyler Bass and the community.
Yeah, I personally have been a pretty big Tyler Bass guy. I've had him on my fantasy team. If I couldn't really get Harrison Butker, he was kind of my backup. So, I'm a big Bass guy, and he, he's a small-mouthed Bass. He doesn't really talk too much, keeps to himself. And, I hope that, people can stop giving him crap because it was a cold, windy night up there in Buffalo.
It happens.
The wind going off of not Lake Erie. Yeah, it's Lake Erie that's up there, I believe. Niagara Falls, just about 45 miles a bit north there.
45?
I want to say. I've done the drive from that. I've done that drive before. And then, this weekend, Chiefs-Ravens, 3 p.m. in Baltimore. Pretty interesting.
Palmer, it's actually 33 miles.
That's pretty good. If you were to ask most people in Atlanta at Westminster how many miles in between Highmark Stadium and Niagara Falls, I think people are going to be nowhere close.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could kind of detour yourself and make that a 45 miles.
Well, I mean, yes, I could make the detour from my house here to Lovett, which should really only be 2 miles, and I can make that 1,000 miles if I really wanted to.
There you go, Palmer.
But moving on, 49ers Lions then will be Sunday at 6:30, and I got to say, I enjoy the scheduling. There's no 8:30 games, right? There's a 3 p.m. and a 6:30.
Yeah, you turn on the TV at 3 o'clock, and then you go to bed at 10. I mean, you get 2 high-quality football games.
Super Bowl's going to be at 6:30. Does that feel early?
That does seem a little bit early.
But I'm happy about it.
You have to think about this, too, right? It's a Sunday. People work on Monday.
Typically,
it might be a little bit later, but that does open it up for a lot more people to watch the games. But think about it as a West Coast fan. You're turning the TV on at 3:30.
I guess same time last year. Yeah, who cares about the people on West Coast?
Yeah, we're here on the East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast rules. And then Braves haven't really done anything.
Nothing much. The MLB's just kind of been slowly but surely. No big signings in the past.
Rhys Hoskins, glad to see him out of the East. I feel like the Brewers have their type, right?
They do. They always have that one guy who strikes out a lot, who hits a lot of bombs.
Well, I was kind of thinking that kind of like, big first baseman.
Yeah.
Right? You got Daniel Vogelbach was there, Rowdy Tellez, now Rhys Hoskins. Hopefully he can come back from that torn ACL.
I wouldn't put Rhys Hoskins in the same category
not
as
necessarily.
those two hefty gentlemen. But the MLB slowly but surely, the spring training games start up in a couple weeks, several weeks. But we'll keep you up to date whenever those happen as well.
And then is there NCAA basketball,
Yeah, March Madness coming around the corner in a couple months. So.
Texas, they've been bad. Back-to-back Big 12 wins over top 12 ranked teams. Last night, you know who they took down? Oklahoma, down with the Sooners. Tremendous stuff to see.
Yeah,
it is currently 8:47 a.m. and OU still sucks.
It's going to be a really fun March this year. with all these tournaments. We'll have another WCAT March Madness pick in, and we'll have a little competition between me, Palmer, and obviously Alex, who couldn't make it with us today. But it'll be a really fun March, and we'll probably have some competitions going on here, some bragging rights on the line.
Did you see kind of that Caitlin Clark kind of like controversy thing?
From the video I saw, it kind of looked like they were both kind of minding their own business and kind of just ran into each other. I wouldn't necessarily blame it on the fan or Caitlin Clark, but I think the way that it was approached was kind of just like Caitlin's not wrong.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Hopefully she's not injured for too long. I know she had a little bump and a bruise, but.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much. This was a great episode. Thank you, Zade. And, a lot of sports to look forward to. Now they're going to have this overlap between winter and spring. Going to be really exciting. Lots of stuff we'll have for you. And we already even have next week's episode planned. We're really working ahead now here.
Oh, yeah. WCATChats, we're always one step ahead.
Exactly.
As always, thank you guys for watching, and go Cats.
Go Cats.